stream. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Yesterday was Tuesday. Yeah, yeah, it's been a productive week. I am feeling good about getting things done. So it's always good. It's like in the middle of the week, you get to review where your productivity is on objective goal setting. And so what does that mean for what I just did there? What the heck's going on? Okay, are we good? I hit something. I hit something with the wire and made my system go crazy for a second there. We're back. Okay, objective goal setting in the middle of your week is a healthy thing because it sort of lets you get a sense of where you are at in your obligations and where you need to be, you know. I had a fun time last night on Jim Luan's channel, his latest episode of Hey Man, How's Your Movie Going? Where some of us got together and we tried to cast a live action version of the animated motion picture that he's working on. And that was a fun exercise. It's an interesting exercise because it's sort of like, as a creative, and especially if you're a creative working long-term on a specific project, sometimes identifiably comparing what your characters are and what you're working on to actual living persons sort of gives the insights. Hey, Chris, welcome aboard. And anybody else that's joined us, welcome aboard. I got a question posted for today. People can feel free to answer, and that is, what is your favorite tool to draw with? Now, we are 6 days into the month. I have 24 days left. And in 24 days, I have to do 33 pages for my objective goal for the year. And so I thought, I need to do some assessing of process and what I can be doing to sort of speed things up. I've got about 7 unfinished pages kicking around here, and I think if I just get moving on stuff, I should be able to get someplace. But in the meantime, at this point in the week, I've got some good progress being made. I got a bunch of stuff done. I got a bunch of stuff to put on Patreon and put on social media as we go through the week. But, in the meantime, plugging away. Chris says, for today's question, graphic ink, color pencil, Derwent Intense pencils. Hello. Or pans. Those would be my favorites. That's a pretty straight on list. Graphite, ink, color pencil, ink tense pencils. I'm unfamiliar with. What are ink tense pencils? And is this something I should be looking into? Is it something that looks like it might lean to what approach I take on things? So anybody feel free as you come in to share what it is that you like working with, even if it's not traditional drawing medium. What's your favorite tool to work with? Oh, I love working with this camera, or I like working with this keyboard, whatever it is. But thank you for answering that right away, Chris. Okay, well, I suppose I had better get a page out of the book. Just flipping through pages here and see what I find. I guess I can do this one. Oil refinery cities. I mean that's one. rod onto things, turning them into something else. Okay, that's, oh no, I've done that. Excuse me, just trying to figure out one. Christopher William Runciman. Actually, it's Christopher Michael Scott Runciman. Okay, well, I think I've got one. Circle of Life. All right. Chris says that the ink tense pencils or pans work like watercolor, but it's like indie ink. Lots of colors available. When applied dry, they look dull. Once you activate them with water, they're so cool. Semi-permanent. That's pretty cool. Jim says, thank you for stopping by last night, Mr. Runciman. It was truly a joy. Well, thanks for having me, Jim. That's very nice of you. And at Jim's request yesterday, I'm going to draw today using a mark making tool and a Sharpie and a pencil. That's what we got. Having two names is nice. Yeah, it is. It is. I've got three, but it's Christopher Michael Scott Runciman. Okay, today's suggestion is, want to see my dance moves? So let's get cracking on this one. This is a kind of a fun, crazy idea. Chris has two. That's nice. What are your two, Chris? Jim, what's your full name? And what's your favorite tool to use? Okay. Yeah, let's just get crack-a-lackin'. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go through today's page. I apologize. Today's page was the 3 prompts from yesterday, and those 3 prompts were White Werewolf, a standard characters, and Anchor. And so this is the page that I did. Anchor is not a visual element. James Michael Luan. Nice. Sound like a private investigator. Anchor is position held by the person who is the last person on the row of a tug of war. That's as soon as anchor was suggested, that's immediately what I thought of was tug of war and not of a boat. Sharpie ultra fine point. I have a fine point. I don't own an ultra fine point. So the standard characters is the kids in the cabin. And the white werewolf is, this kid at the end. Chris made a fantastic comment, and that was the kids don't even notice that the person at the end is a werewolf. You don't even point that out. And I said, well, kids are more accepting than adults. Kids go with things easier. So, teamwork makes the dream work. So there's today's page. I'm going to kick the table on, the table camera. Now, my camera that's on my gob is pixelating, but, it's me, so who cares? So today's suggestion is, I remember what it was. Want to see my dance moves. So that's what we're going to work on today. And if anybody, wants to put suggestions out, by all means, feel free to do so. Or if you've got prompts, ideas that you want to put out, feel free to give those as well. Okay, so I want to try something different today. I want to approach things a little bit differently. Jim says, with the way your mind works, AI will never replace you. Unless AI tries to, let's do stuff in the vein of Christopher Runciman and in the most mental things that ever put together, because AI analyzes me really well. Because everything is experimental. Ah, yeah. Finally got to do that. All right. I don't have an ultra fine point Sharpie. I got a for Denisuke. I got my Uli. I don't know. I got the ballpoint pen. You know, I'm not overly worked up, but I know that drawing with pencil immediately felt silly. So let's check a pen out instead. A pen and a Sharpie. How's that for you? Do you have a Sharpie pen? No, I don't. I do not. I have Sharpie fine points, markers, and no pens. Because I don't like them. I don't like them for whatever reason. They know what they did. Yeah. Okay, well, let's go. So, you know what I could do? Hey, I know I said eliminate it to 2 things, but immediately I want to just, scissors are good to draw. They can be. It's not my jam. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I'm gonna just go for it and just make some messes and pull things together with the Sharpie. And I want to be really chaotic today. A little bit of chaos, huh? And in that way, it liberates me from restraining myself from the marks that I want to make. Because if I work from a lighter value and pull things together with a Sharpie, I think I can get some fun things to happen. So we're going to try. We're going to see what we can do. Yeah, I don't like the fine point Sharpies, though. I don't know why. I just don't. So here's our first dance move is getting our character to sort of stretch out. And I want to push some movement in here right off the hop. Let's get this arm out. Where are we at? I think it was those rapscallions you were hanging around with last night. Were they bad influences? Oh, they were terrible influences last night. Anybody that didn't get a chance to check out the video, had some silly fun last night. It was nice. It was nice to take part in that with the guys and to suggest some ideas if you were to do a live casting of the project that Jim's working on right now. So I'm just playing with the form here and pushing the movement of this character, and we're calling it a dance move. So, and then we'll throw do enhancements with the Sharpie. But there's a liberation in just drawing with the pen. You'll notice that I'm using more form today by doing it this way. It's less time thinking about the line that I'm putting down and more time just throwing lines and shapes down and building up our visual that way, so that it expedites the process for me a little bit. But at the same time, it allows me to just fire on all cylinders. Less thinky, more scribble. Yeah, last night was a good fun, though. I appreciate being invited to that, and that was a good crew. And we talked about some fun castings, just in general, much less adapting characters for Jim's world building that he's been doing over his films. If you get a chance, check out Jim's channel and see some of his films. They're really good. I really enjoy them. I had a friend by the studio today and showed him Jim's movies, and they're quite interested. So quite pleased. Not sure what I want to do with this hand. I think I'll just have this hand. Yeah, let's just drop the right to the edge of the paper here. Abstracting the fingers is kind of fun. So here's our first dancer. Let's contextualize them. So we'll put them in the streets, dancing in the streets, calling out around the world. And this is where I'm going to come in with the Sharpie in a moment and push push the high contrast shadows. And I think that there'll be a fun halo event, that sort of feeling that goes on, because as I go over the dark areas with the Sharpie, you know, if I apply it and a sort of, you know, not fulfilling the entire, I'll just show you, not fulfilling the entire space, but like parts therein, we get this fun kind of a halo thing going on with the red. And I like that. One of our first objects coming in. David Bowie, Chris says. I love David's voice in that song. Everybody talks about Under Pressure. That's the most played of Bowie's duets, but Dancing in the Streets is great, and Little Drummer Boy with Bing Crosby is fantastic. Why aren't I using a ruler? Is Janet here to give me trouble? So I'm just going to put in some of these elements of the crosswalks, like the cross lights, and little touchstone spaces to put the character within the environment. But we're going to do some fun outlines in a second. One of the things I like about Winsor McKay is that he would do this heavy impasto, seriously heavy application of defining lines around subjects. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. I'm sorry I keep moving off frame. Janet's not here to ask you to use a ruler. There we go. With Mick Jagger, sure. The two of them dancing in that. There's a page I did this year of Joan Crawford, David Bowie, and Rasputin meet for breakfast. and it ends with Rasputin and Bowie dancing on a giant burrito in space. And don't ask us, but just because I thought it was a good idea at the time. But it was a really fun page to do, and I was totally riffing on the Bowie and Jagger dancing in the streets video. But whether or not anybody ever gets it, doesn't matter. It's just having fun doing the thing. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to do outline. Just sort of definitely separate it from its background. I suppose I should be putting that black line, the outline around her. We'll get to it. We'll get there. I could do this. Just putting more environment in as we go back. And then one of the things I can do is do contour lines around these different layers. So just to sort of keep pushing the space back and pushing the space back. So give me a second, I'll show you what I mean. So there's our sidewalk, and then we'll put in some people walking along here. Just as some shapes. Just get a couple of them in here. One more in. And we'll get one crossing the road. Okay, so we'll go around that. Who should we cast to play Chris in the Christopher Runs a Movie? And Jim says Elijah Wood. Willem Dafoe. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple things. One is I'm going to put contour line around this person. There we go. It's an interesting question, Jim. I don't know, says Chris. I don't know who I would have. Nick Nolte. Who knows? Gary Busey. Just trying to think of blonde people. Okay, so this is coming together nice and quick, just from being loose. It's more like a sketch than it is a finished page. Here we go. I don't know. It's a strange thing to think about. If you were doing a film, who would it be? They would have to be tall. But that's a challenging one. If anybody has any ideas about who they would like to see play them in a film of their life, Buddy Holly. See, I'm not going to guess a good name here. So I got some cars in here. Let's go put some stuff on the opposite side of the street now. So our first panel is going to be our principal running towards the frame. Who could I see play Jim Luan in a film? Corbin's been bothering me all morning. He just left me alone just before the stream started. It's like, I gotta go. These people are stacking me. Chris says I'll be an extra in the background. Nothing interesting to make a movie about me. I see, that's the whole thing. Is generally everybody feels that way about themselves. Like what the story about my life be. But then when you look at things like, well, it films like Et tu Mama Tambien and just these are just character journeys or Home for the Holidays with it's Jodie. That's a Jodie Foster movie. With starring Holly Hunter. But when you think about some of these projects that are just these wonderful character studies, it just sort of lets you realize that there's more to your story than what we might consider. But somebody else might look at it as quite an exploration into a specific idea or a specific lifestyle that they're completely unaware of. So just putting in some street lights here. There we go. no idea who would play me in a movie, but I feel bad for them having to do it. Did you seriously do this? Did he seriously do this thing I'm acting out? He did. Oh, what's wrong with this guy? So I'm just drawing buildings in behind, and then we'll move on to the next panel. It's interesting to see how, I mean, there's a lot of solid characterization is if three very different people can sit down and cast your project as a live action film and what characters they think are applicable to what characters within your story. It's kind of fun. That's really compelling. And since people were getting similar answers, you got to expect that there's a recognizable character that comes through in the dialogue and in the actions. Let's put some. I hope this is coming in clear and focus. I've tried to adjust mine, but it takes time. You're doing this repetitive pattern on a space like that makes your eyes go a little bit buggy. It would have been nice to appear as an extra. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, what a great cameo that would be. Just you're an extra in, a conversation discussing you. I think the most meta of those is probably Kurt Vonnegut's appearance in, I can't remember what it was called. It was a Rodney Dangerfield film where he's going back to school. And he's just completely loaded, Anyways, he submits a paper, and the teacher grades the paper and says, "This is all wrong. I mean, whatever idiot wrote this, they completely have zero grasp of the writing of Kurt Vonnegut." And so Rodney Dangerfield walks out into the hallway of this classroom and says, "Hey, Vonnegut, give me my money back. Your paper got me a D," and it shows Kurt Vonnegut at the end of the hall turning like he's going to book it. Like he's going to, Dangerfield's going to have to chase him. The Vonnegut appearances and things are always brilliant. This appears an extra in a movie, but not a Mexican movie. Those are bad. There's some really good ones. But, largely by Guillermo del Toro. So I'm just putting in some elements here. Just make a more interesting panel. I've been in some really ridiculous movies, but quite happy about doing so. But in hindsight, some of them were just pretty silly things. That's coming together okay. It's a fine process to cast an actor for a role. I saw the audition tape of Tom Hiddleston as Thor. Nope. Be much better as Loki. The way he evolved the character has been really good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, I cast Diego Luna, the lead actor of Andor, as a character, and in his film. And again, that's the kind of thing, it's because his ability to be inside of a character and to, like you say, evolve them out. I know that Tom Hiddleston did it over time, but I just think that Diego Luna is one of those actors that you get a real sense of presence while he's in front of the frame. So there we go. So I'm going to put some more planes in here, and just let me get a couple more things done here. So one of the things that I can do is push that building behind the other, and then we'll continue to draw so hopefully people get the idea that this is in front of this, in front of this, in front of this. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm off camera again. What a good job today I'm doing, eh? Okay, so I can put another line here for this building. Nope. So here's our first panel. And the page title is, do you want to see my dance moves? Which I just think is good, silly fun. I'm trying to think of how, I guess it would be more like this. You gotta have a drop in scale. There we are. Okay. Diego Luna is a good actor. He really is. He's been fantastic in all kinds of things. There we go. I think that's it. That's the pony for the first panel. So I'll put a line down here in order to separate. And then the outline over here. Okay, so here's our first panel of Do You Want to See My Dance Moves? There we are. A little more form there in the body. I forgot about that. I'm going to draw the shadow. I should have drawn it on the angle that it goes right to the form, but, well, there's no other things around, so I think people have got the idea that that's the shadow. But I want to cut some of it back. Chris says, I need to watch Ahsoka and Loki as well. Oh, there you go. I think the shadow would go that way if I move these lines this way. Ah, you get the idea. Pen ran out of ink. Okay. All right. Just putting a border on here. There we go. I like this panel. The perspective looks so natural. I need to draw a lot of guidelines to get it right. Well, just scribble a lot of perspectives, and eventually it'll just become a little more routine, but okay. Coloring this would be a whole different kettle of fish, though. Suppose I could do yeah. Okay. Just trying to get some grooves in the sidewalks. Here we go. Okay. Well, that's very nice, Chris. Thank you for that. Chris uses the book Perspective for Artists by David Chelsea. That's an interesting book, Dave Chelsea's books. I just sort of wing it. I wing it. That's how I do perspective. I wing it. So I want to do a whole bunch of different dance moves and see what that gives me, and just have them move through the streets and see how I can interpret that. But Let's try somebody else. Give them a really big, heavy coat. And then some overlapping patterns here. So the speed by which I sketch is like a lot more liberating. It's a lot more quick than the speed at which I'll use other medium where I'm trying to be very set. Like yesterday was pencil crayon, water pencil, or not. Sorry, I'm sorry, pencil crayon and watercolor, and but you got to be a little more reserved with that, you know. And I always feel like whenever I do a page like that, what I need to do immediately afterwards is, you know, something that just cuts loose. So let's fold in these legs, and then we'll wrap this crazy outfit. There we go. Could add a ridiculous face for the dance move. Some people do that in real life, like the. Wasn't that what Vanilla Ice did? Stop, collaborate, and listen. Wait while I make a sandwich, or however those go. That song goes. So I think that maybe what I'll do is I'll have a leg planting itself like so, and then let's have the next leg kicking up. But yeah, I like the idea of the ridiculous faces. Or you know what? Let's invert this leg. Yeah, that's fun. That's a lot of energy and a lot of direction in that. With the legs turning towards each other. We'll hold this up. So there's our first panel, and we're only allowed to use a red, well, in this case, a pen instead of a pencil, and a Sharpie. That's today's page. So our next person coming in is going to have, let's have them facing backwards. Let's see what we can do about that funny face situation. Oh, sunglasses. Yeah, big sunglasses. There you go. Let's have the hair moving around the face. Gotta turn out the tip of the pen onto another piece of paper every now and then because it gets the way that I use the pen, it always gets this sort of little blob of ink on the opposite side, or as I call it, a dollop. And constantly turning that out so that it doesn't interfere with some big splotchy areas. Okay, so here they are with their hair turned back. I have it spinning around. The idea is that they're turning, they're spinning. That's what I'm going for. So this shoulder will be tipped down, tipped back. We'll have there we go. Have their shirt peeking through. We can fill that in with the Sharpie, I think. And let's push the other arm out and aim it down. Yeah, that's good. And we'll kick this up. So hopefully that's capturing the energy of movement as they're spinning. Hopefully. That is my perpetual hope and dream. Pulling a Stevie Nicks, that's what they're doing. Put some background patterns in. Where are we at? There's a song that says something about I wear my sunglasses at night. It's Corey Hart. My wife loves Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses at night so I can. She could tell you the words. I can. But, you know. Yeah, Corey Hart. He also did Never Surrender, Never Surrender. Wife's gonna give me a hard time because of that terrible impression, but so I'm gonna do a fun pattern here. And carry that on through the image. Like it's some kind of grill work in front of the place. And I think it'll carry over to here. Yeah, they're all hidden. Anyways. Yeah, there's all kinds of silly songs about dancing. Dancing in the Dark. To the Radio of Love. That's out. Just Jig House Band. I Want to Dance with You by April Wine. Yeah, just trying to think of other silly pieces. Or no, it's You Won't Dance With Me, and You Won't Hold Hands With Me. Just putting some windows in behind. Yeah. We're moving. We're getting stuff done today, folks. Boss, the plane. Look, there's a plane up in the sky. Now we won't die. In the blue, that's the bow. An Eskimo. Okay, so here's this next one. Put some we are. I suppose I should put a border on this here. Oh, we'll put a border on this here thingamajig. F-I-F-E again. Key to my heart, kicking my guts. Okay, so there's this panel. Let's just break the planes up. Chris is great. I'm also sculpting wool. I have a cat finish that needs color now. I'm sculpting a dachshund. Oh, that's awesome. It's pretty cool. I'm really on fire with these pieces here. Put this arm in there. Yeah, this is a fun one. We'll see my dance moves. And collar. Crazy big glasses. There we go. Paul says before iPad days, I was a charcoal and pastel chalk guy. That's crazy. That's like extremes, going from really messy material to, no mess at all. Okay. I also like the felt tip marker pen. I always want to get into brush pens, but I never did. See, I really like the brush pens. Recognizing that they're far more controlled than Sharpies, or because these pens really bleed, right? So there you go. Put some shadows around the feet. Oh, brush pens are beautiful and fun looking. They sure are. Yeah. So I'm just drawing in a shadow area of this character. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so tired today. I stayed up too late, Paul says. What were you doing? I'm tired because I didn't sleep with the ding dong last night. It had nothing to do with the time I was up. I'm always up till 2. Get up at 6, 7, 8. But yeah. Where's the shirt? There it is. Just wondering if there's another. This up, sorry. And we'll put a line running along the bottom. Very good for us. So I got an idea about where to go with this next. And just, trying stuff out, right? I'm looking at silly pictures of people walking. That's it. And just really exaggerating everything. My little thumbnails that I'm looking at. I hope everybody's doing all right today. Curious as to find out what people are working on. Always a big fan of trying to suggest, to others, people's work, or just to encourage us all to check out whatever each other are doing. And okay, so here we are with our next panel. And so what I thought I'd do with this one is really exaggerate a pose. So one of the things I could do is take these outfits and put different patterns on them, I guess. See what, this one's got a plaid, or this one's got like a, sort of, what do you call those, the peacoat jackets, like the Navy? So I'm not being too precious about my line making here, just because it's all just sort of silly. Paul says, Chris, I used to like to do portraits with Jackson charcoal. It was cool. But when I started using the iPad, I was able to do more in order of magnitude. I was able to level up. Not trying to proselytize. It's just what it is for me. What it is, what it was. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. I'm going to draw crazy. Crazy furry collar. There we go. And then I got the one hand going this way. Let's put have her smile. Let's have this one smile. She's really enjoying some crazy dance moves. we want to have them have crazy hair. Yeah, let's do a little uplift in the front. Why not? Why not? Why not indeed? And then we'll have the hair moving over here as well. I still get lost in digital art. Maybe I'll draw digitally tomorrow. Something I don't do enough, I don't think. I kind of like all of the above, but I just like drawing. I had actually considered drawing digitally today, doing a digital page. But, went this way instead. So Jim had suggested yesterday that I use red pencil or red mark maker and a Sharpie. So let's have, okay, so if this arm is here and this shoulder is here, then this jacket or this arm goes here and turns under. I'll have this hand. Coming through. I got to go this weekend and try to finish Christmas shopping. I want it done. And we're through birthday season now for us, and so now it's something like that to do. And one of my grandkids really, she's really getting into some art, and so I want to try to figure out a way to define, she likes to make things with her hands though, so I want to find a way to define something that's hers, away from, what it is that I do. Okay, so if we've got our hands doing this crossover thing, I want to try to think about, so we've already got established that the body is moving this way. So the body is coming through to here. So there's our hip. I think that if I have like so, just really exaggerated pose. Okay, let's try this. Give this person a dress. And I guess if this hip is here, then this hip is. And then we'll move this, bunch the fabric there, and then pull across. There we go. Okay. When I first saw Christopher, I was inclined to start telling him about how much he needs digital, this and that. I quickly realized I just need to watch and learn. What do you mean? I think you've got a fantastic grasp on digital. I learned stuff from Paul. I really want to figure out how to get those clean lines that Paul gets. But I think I'm just much too messy. Okay, and so let's get this stretched around the leg. And how about some big crazy boots? Let's do some big crazy boots. I think Paul is quite good at drawing digitally. I sing me the praises of Mr. Paul Page. It's fun to just draw for drawing's sake and to let it go where it goes. Big clunky work boots is a fashion choice. But I appreciate what you're saying, Paul. It's very nice of you. I'll have this one open as well. And then let's give her some socks. And then so we'll surround this person with a line as well. Now we could bump this one right out of the panel. So we've got the jacket moving like so. So we can flip that up a little bit. But let's put our outline hopefully that's looking okay. So this is the thing about drawing really loosely and with limited tools, is it really allows you to just go for it. Draw over top yourself, make some messes. There we go. Chris has a nice pose. Oh, thanks. She's busting a move. Big furry collar. And we have 114. We're doing good. Yeah, so now we can continue drawing environment around this person. And yeah, it's coming together. My favorite thing to draw for fun is drawing people out in the wild. Yeah, people in the streets, or people running about their day to day. Yeah, you get some cool stuff, that's for sure. Here's Victory. There it is. Okay, so let's do another one with an exaggerated pose. Let's do her stylish pal. there, her posh look. This like this. I'm ideally I'm thinking the person's doing this as they're dancing. Let's give this hair is more. We've got some pretty different kinds of hair, but let's have a really voluminous one. Turtleneck. Yeah, good start. I would struggle drawing that figure like you did, Christopher. I need to start with gesture lines. Yours is observational. It's pretty impressive. Oh, thanks, Paul. It's just thinking about how the form comes together, right? And how, when we understand the basics of it, then it just becomes with imagining those lines together, but don't see the lines, right? When you see the how did you describe it? The gesture lines. Okay, so see the gesture lines, but don't utilize those. See the gesture lines, and then before you start putting your marks down, put volume on the lines. So in this case, with this leg goes like so, but what I'm thinking about is the weight on the hip and how the fabric stretches across the span between these two legs, but the fabric still has to go up, and the tension is pulled from the thighs, right, from inside the thigh and the raised area on each of the legs and across the knees. But there's less tension than there is the tension being pulled here and here. So that's what my brain does, and it's only because thinking about it in one context, but trying to implement the drawing in the next point, like to the next, looking at the form, looking at the volumes. So here's her pal, who's got a very different. I'm trying to define a very different dancing vibe here. Give her a little bit of a Mick Jagger. But I've also tried to. This person has more volume in their hips than this person does. This person is less like smaller breasts and things like that. It's like you're telling me just shoot the ball with your left hand. It's easier said than done. It is unless you practice a lot. Like if you start by, hold on. Okay. Got this paper clicking around still. So if we've got, this paper here, and I'm thinking of form. Okay, so here is the stick figure of a person moving through. Am I on camera? Yeah, I am. Okay. So here is the stick figure, and I'm having the second leg pull behind. Okay. And so as I'm thinking, and I'll put the arm the same way as this one. So that's moving, but we'll put it to the hip. Okay. Now, if I'm thinking about how this person is moving like this, and we'll turn the face like so. We'll turn the face to this direction. Now, so I've got an idea of it as I'm laying it down, but when I'm drawing it out, I want to think of these forms instead. And I want to draw this part of the body. so that when I'm drawing, this is me drawing Mick Jagger, by the way. So as I'm drawing Mick Jagger doing his whole chicken walk thing, right? I'm thinking about how his body moves across like so. And I'm drawing these volumes. I got an idea in my head of where the anchor points are, where the gesture lines are. But what I'm trying to put down on paper is Mick Jagger. You know, and then of course you clean that up as you go and take a little more time and put together your, but when you're scribbling shapes down, you know, it's that's sort of an application. So rather than looking at the body as this, right? Try looking at the body just as the forms. But that's the thing, Paul, is that you have such a lovely line, a lovely drawing style that I wouldn't change a thing about how you're approaching it. I'm just trying to figure out a way to say that this is how my brain works, which might not necessarily make an awful lot of sense. Anyways, that's okay. So that's kind of where my brain is going on things. It's just repetition. And so, well, here's an example. This is me scribbling. This is doodling. And so all that I'm doodling here is exaggerated forms, but there's no internal lines. It's just stretching lines and finding shape. And some of it's really exaggerated. Like, look at the size of the hands on this guy for his small frame, smaller legs. You know, or how this form is really, really stretched out. Just trying to play with how the body moves around. You know, the different proportions for like a kid, you know, cartoony faces, monkey faces, just shapes, just thinking of it as everything as shapes. And so scribbling like that lets me not have to think in these regards anymore and just start thinking about the form. But the thinking's all there. I just did it before in a different you know, place by putting it in these sketchbooks and scribbles. And at the same time, in the same book, I'm drawing specific line things. But if it wasn't for, that's me too, obviously. If it wasn't for stuff like this, you know, then that the understanding to just draw as shadow, as just shapes and light, it's all interrelated, right? I don't know if I'm making any sense at all today. I hope that makes sense. But practice, practice, practice. Carnegie Hall. Yeah, practice, 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 practice. So here's this lady with her purse. I want to draw her purse in here. I don't know why. I just want to give her a purse. There's the other foot. She's in behind this gal. And then we'll put sidewalk. Trying to find fun ways to cut apart. We'll draw a car. That's what we'll do. We'll draw a car behind them. Get some shadows in here. All right, so I think what I might do is scan this and play with a whole bunch of different filters and shapes and just have fun with this. Okay, so I'll draw a truck. What do you call it? A minivan behind them or something. We'll have them, they've just got out and busted to move. Gotta go, lunchtime here. We'll see you around on Friday. Yes, indeedly do. Looking forward to it. I think it would be this. I'm trying to think of where that door. Yeah, there we go. All right, that. I always want to draw when I'm drawing a car door. I always want to draw a manual door handle. Always. It's just, you know, how you grow up, right? And we'll do the lower part of the door where the seam is. Looks sort of like a car door. And then there's the roof of our car. And so we'll do a nice running line on this to separate this space. And define that ledge. It moves through, and then put the shadow into the car. So I forgot. Gotta have these to drive in North America. So let's draw that outline on the vehicle. Oh, that's terrible. I can't draw a straight line to save my skin right now. It's all right. Okay, so there's the shadow. And we could put the back of another car here. The bumper in front. Backlight, bumper. There we go. So there's the next car. And then there we go. We got a defined space. So better slow down, making them lines, Brunswick. So I'm thinking about chair or the seat. The seat will be like so. And then we see the seat in front. This is this. Maybe like this. There, I think we're about running up to this one. Hey, guys and gals. Hey, how you doing there? Okay, there's the inside of the van. So there's our quick sketch drawing page today of do you want to see my dance moves? And then I think the last thing I'll do is I'm going to draw a lady's face as she's saying, hey, you want to see my dance moves? And then I might move this band to the top. And then just get into the discussion. And I might switch the order of things. I haven't quite decided yet how I'm going to go about it. I'm hunky and dory. Everyone else? I think everybody's been pretty good. I think everybody's having an all right day. I don't know that anybody has expressed anything but. Yeah. Okay, well, I think I might call it for a day. Sorry, Dan, I know you're just jumping in with us here, but I've got to get a couple more things done today, and I have something I'm working on right now, which I should hopefully be able to put it out. And I'm only hunky, and yeah, I'm Dory. Hey, little guy. Anyways, I think that's the wrong Dory. Yeah, I think that I should have something exciting to show everybody tomorrow of something I've been working on. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But I'm going to throw this in the robot, get this scanned, and then I think I'm going to play with a whole bunch of different effects and things and see what I can do with this and see how I can push it a little bit farther. But as far as it goes for an objective of just trying to quick scan this entire page together using just a pen and a Sharpie, I feel like this has been a lot of fun. And I hope my really brutal drawing example thing wasn't too dumb. So yeah, this has been a fun day, but we've got lots of fun things happening on this page. Dory's been looking at me. Have a good evening. You have a good evening as well. I hope everybody can just disco until dawn. Okay? Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I'll have this posted for the morning. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST. If anybody has suggestions or ideas, let me know. And other than that, I hope everybody's having fun in their own creative journey. But I shall see you tomorrow. Bye for now.